we are considering teaching our children about money, raising them and giving them this financial literacy. So we're asking Mrs. Nancy, why should we teach our children about money? Is it necessary to teach our children about money?
For me, I would say it's highly of great importance we teach children about money, because money is something everybody will grow up to handle someday. So the earlier we start teaching them about money, the better for them. Because when you groom a child with financial literacy, when you see a financially literate child, you would always see the difference, because the child will be able to grow up to become an adult who would differentiate between wants and needs. And a financially literate child will grow up and not make some of the mistakes that we are not like really taught about financial literacy in school made, and we are still making till now. Like, for example, if you take a child to a mall, a child should be able to know the budget of his or her family.
That's
You
right.
understand? There are children that you take to a mall, like you have been to some malls where you see children like crying, rolling on the floor. What's the
Exactly.
problem? My mommy don't want to buy this for me. But if that child is highly involved in the budget of his or her family, the child should be able to differentiate between wants and needs and know what his or her family is able or can afford at every point in time. So the child would not like create a scene or make a mess of him or herself and even the family in such manner. So I feel, and come to think of it, you hardly see schools that consider financial literacy as a course. Mostly families that know about it would go out maybe online and start searching for probably a place where they can like register their children in order to acquire that knowledge. So getting a school as ours that's inculcated financial literacy in their curriculum is something like I won't say is a plus. Is a plus actually. And I'm not saying it because I'm trying to like blow a trumpet. I'm just stating the obvious. So is a first of its kind. So it's something that is highly commendable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And in a country like Nigeria, where basically our academics are all about books, they don't care about what the children will do for them or when they are out of school. So basically, you know that all the things the children will be doing out of school would be all about money, would be all about surviving, would be all about succeeding. And all these things all matter because one way or the other, we would have needs, we would have wants, and a child that is not financially literate would definitely make mistakes when an adult is not there. So for me, for example, now I have this video I watched online about Japan and all that, how you can send a child out to buy something for you. But in my neighborhood, you can send a child of 12 years to go out, buy something. The child will come back and tell you, they did not give me change. You'll not be like, why? I gave you this. Go back. You will be the one to explain. Go back, go and tell them that this happened. Or it comes worse to the fact that you go down there with the child, a 12-year-old, to tell them, this is the amount I gave her. You did not give her the balance. So in a world like this, we'll try as much as possible to prepare our children for the future.
So we said before that why do we need to teach our children about money? But there's something we are currently learning in our school. It's entrepreneurship skills. Yeah. So like Ms. Okenwa will say, what will Ms. Okenwa say?
Entrepreneur.
Oh, that's nice. So I wanted to ask Ms. Ifoma, why do you think children need to know about being good entrepreneurs, right? Because the people that are leading the way currently in the world are actually entrepreneurs. Because nowadays, we'll see, somebody said the other day that the Onitsha main market has produced like a very
more billionaires
like this than the school system has. So I wanted to ask, or will I say the person said, or the apprenticeship scheme or the apprenticeship world. So, and finally, while we go to school, we learn skills, and finally we come out, we get a job, is actually to make money. So, for example, what we wanted to say is, Ms. Ifoma, why do you think children need to learn about entrepreneurship skills?
Okay, it's very important children learn about entrepreneurship because you find out children that are very smart, they grow up and they're just targeted one way, like very smart children. When you don't teach them other parts of education, because entrepreneurship is also a part of education.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can't learn it in isolation from education. So you find out that when children learn entrepreneurship, they tend to do more when they leave school. Because I want you to check it. Those of them that are so smart during your days in school, and they are just one-sided. They are just so focused on academics. When they leave school and there is no white-collar job, it's a problem. They can't create jobs. So it's nice you teach children so when they leave school, they create job opportunities. They tend to create something for themselves to live on and don't just wait for the government alone.
Thank you very much. But we also learned that entrepreneurship, like if a child begins, we've had the case of Makila Oma.
Yeah.
We have the case of the Mo Boys, the Mo Boys guy
Boys,
and
yes.
everything. So if a child learns this entrepreneurship skills at a very,
Very young
tender
age.
age, they become self-confident. Yeah, they become
right.
very self-confident because with the likes of Michaela Oma, she's actually very self-confident. She started,
Very.
She started her business when she was 4 years old, and today she's a multi-millionaire. And-
Billionaire.
yeah, she's a billionaire. May I be corrected? So it's very necessary that we teach our children from a very, very young age. And there's an adage that says that any skill that you don't begin to teach a child from the age of 5, it becomes impossible to instill that skill in him. So it's very important that we teach our children about financial literacy and entrepreneurship skill. But there's something I saw online yesterday. This American Idol girl that's this American Idol girl that got they gave her $25,000 in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 during COVID year, and now she's on the street selling candies on the street, back again to square one. So I was thinking, do we think it is as a result of like she didn't have financial literacy skills or something?
Course, obviously.
A lot of things can actually
Obviously.
contribute to that. Yeah.
But obviously, if the child had been like properly prepared, that is why it is very important. Maybe growing up, they never envisaged that she was going to go to Nigerian Idol and probably hit American Idol, sorry, and probably hit that huge amount of money at that point of her life. So, most times when people are not like financially stable or financially like literate, you understand, they don't know the value of money. There is two things now. One is to know the value of money, and another thing is to know the application of that money. Like, there are people that you would give a particular amount of money. Maybe they've not been eating chicken, but once they see money immediately, the only thing that will come to their mind is cook chicken, cook this, cook that, and at the end of the day, once all those things will still end up in the toilet, and they will return to square one. Now, talking about the girl that was given a huge $250,000. That's how much in Naira? Millions. Okay, now, just between 2020 and 2023, she squandered everything and she's on the streets. Now, I put it to you that if that child, if growing up, she had the opportunity of this, what we are talking about today, because I would say people of this generation are quite lucky. They are quite fortunate to have people that like probably teaching them things about money, how to handle money, how to make savings, how to budget and all that. Now, if that child had seen someone to guide, like seen someone that had told her of the importance of savings and budgeting, I put it to you, she wouldn't have returned to the streets just barely 2 years after earning millions of naira. So I think it's something every parent, every school owner, every individual should learn from, because it's quite important they learn it for them to grow up to become more responsible adults. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so Miss Edna, what will you say? Do you say the girl she just didn't have this financial literacy skill, or maybe her, or maybe I don't know, maybe life happened, or maybe her village people were following her or something. What in particular will you say?
You know, one thing about life is that just the same way that we have the tech industry, that you see people go into the tech industry, they go there, some persons come out frustrated. The major thing is that they don't know the reason why they go into that. Because if you're somebody that has a highlight of, okay, this is how this works, if you do this, you can earn money from it. But for some persons, they just learn, you earn money. They go there, once they see, they try it the first time, try second time, they say, no, I'm not doing this again. But there are some persons, for me, I believe that if you remain focused on your goal, if you are enlightened about what you are being given, about what that thing can earn for you, you can be able to manage it quite properly. Because there are some persons that will go in there, they will go, for example, I will still use the tech industry. People are making noise about it, go to the tech industry. People, even the people that are not
Tech literate.
yes, they want to try. Now, trying, they did not give you any benefit or anything that I thought that would hold you and tell you, okay, this is not that quite easy for you to do. But because they have heard, money is going to come out from it, they dive into it. Yes. So for me, I think it's all back on the financial literacy, because she is told she will be given an amount of money.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
But
know
she was never
if
told how to handle the
handle
money
the money.
she was given.
She
Yeah,
had
she had
no
no
plan.
plans.
And basically, before even going on the
American
show,
Idol.
she was just like, okay, it will be a trial and error stuff and all that. So for me, going back on the street again is a no, no, no. That's a very big mistake, error.
Okay, so another thing is, when we begin to teach children early about money, I think they have this initiative of goal setting. It teaches them how to set goals.
Yeah.
Because they know that if I do 1, 2, 3, I'm going to get this. So they become goal setters, and they like find a way to achieve their goals. So I don't know, can Miss Edna, can you tell us how we parents can groom our children? Are there ways? Now we are telling parents that, okay, teach your children financial literacy. How do you think parents can teach their children financial literacy? How do you think they can teach them at home, before we come to how school can teach them or how school can help? How can parents teach their children financial literacy?
I believe a child does not listen. A child sees. What a parent does is what the child will be seeing. Because you can keep shouting about something, keep doing that thing continuously, keep shouting. They won't take that till they see you doing it. So if you're a parent and you try as much as possible to tell your child to include them in your finance, tell them this is how we're going to do it. This is what it's going to be looking like. Children are free-minded. They would always want to get involved. Now, if they grow up with that mindset that, my parents will always do this, they will always do that, they would want and try as much as possible to do that same thing, even when you are not there. Yeah. They would do that
That's
thing,
true.
they will represent properly for you. And I have this notion about children that once they feel that they have somebody that they are looking up to, they have somebody that have built them in this path, they try as much as possible not to live less than what the person expects. So if you are a parent and then you are sure about yourself that you've been able to inculcate in this child, you've been able to include them, you've been able to include them in all the process, how the money is being financed, how the money is being managed. Basically, you don't expect them to start one or two things and then tell them, okay, you're going to start up a business immediately. No, they have to be sure, okay, my parents back then, they were working, they were doing this and doing that, and also trying as much as possible to produce or to get something for us back home. But then it's not every time that they will buy, it's not every time that we will eat, it's not every time that we will jump around with money. My father has a house, he has investments. They need to learn about all this work.
They need to know. You don't need to hide your businesses from them.
There are some children that don't know. If you tell them now, invest, they don't know what that is.
So, Miss Ifoma was telling us how parents can successfully instill financial discipline in their children, or entrepreneurship skills. So
I was saying that I just finished talking about the piggy bank stuff, and then parents, you can also get games that help these children develop financially. Like, it gives them this idea that money shouldn't be wasted, money is valuable. Games like Monopoly, chess, snakes and ladders, a lot of them out there. And please create time. One of the problems we are having in today's parenting is lack of time. We don't get to have time to spend with our children, have reasonable time to stay and play these games with them. When they are playing and you are playing alongside, they learn it more. At some point you pause, you teach them, and then it will go a long way to make these children learn. So you shouldn't just leave everything to the school and assume the school is doing a nice job. Yes, the school is doing a nice job, but then you have your role to play at home as a parent, so the children don't get biased about money.
Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Farmer, I just learned about a few games that came out for the purpose of financial literacy. We have Money Bag, Monopoly Fortnite, we have Payday, we have Buy It. We have a lot of board games that help children to learn
Snakes
about
and
money.
ladders,
You understand?
chess,
We have a lot of games. Board games are actually very amazing. Every family needs to have game nights. It's very nice. Every family needs to have game night because there has to be a family culture that children can fall back on and remember when they grow. So this is how we do it when we're very little. But nowadays, you just have to make time for family culture. Now, are there times when we dine together? Are there times when we play together and everything? So in your play and everything, there should actually be a mission to achieve a particular goal. And we have to, because you have to teach children to be very decisive. If you come and ask them, why should I buy this or not buy this? They should be able to decide. They should be able to use their critical thinking skills to use. So involve them, just like Mr. Former said. So, yeah, Mrs. Nancy, how do you think that parents can teach their children or groom their children to become financially literate?
Okay, I would say that everything boils down to involvement. Like, you have to involve the children. I remember my son would always say that there are people in school, like, when you don't indoctrinate that family value in your child would go out and do things that you would never imagine in your wildest dream. So why am I saying this? I remember my son would always come home and tell me that there are people in school that they are 30 BG, like all this 30 B gang, that they can spend money, that their pocket money, they deposit like 150,000, that a day they can be eating up to 10,000, 12,000 worth, and he will be like, if I spend money like this, my daddy will kill me. Stuff like that.
I remember Sister Washku said that some people will be giving offering of 1,000, and he will tell them that, oh, I cannot give offering of 1,000, my father will kill me.
So not that it's bad.
Not that it's bad though, but he just knew that whatever money was given to him, whatever money was given, he's supposed to manage it.
So when you get to a particular stage, you will do some things that is needed at that point in time. A child of just one going to give 1,000 naira every Sunday as offering. Well, I won't say it's entirely bad. I don't know how large their pocket is. But then, every child should know where he or she is coming out from.
Exactly.
And exactly, there's this thing my husband would always say, that you should not provide everything children want. Everything, like there are some people that, if they want this, you give. If they want this, you give. If you don't want this, sometimes withdraw. Say no to some things so that they will know that you must not get everything. Because once you groom them and they feel, and they have this mindset that I get whatever I want to get, when they grow up, they will never save. That is how they will not know how to differentiate between wants and need. They will just be clashing the wants and needs, buying everything and not making plans for themselves. So I think children should be highly involved. Every child should know of their family values. They should know where they are coming from.
They should also know budgets of their family.
Yes, they should know budget. They should know what the family can provide at every point in time. Not you throwing money as if it's something that you pluck from the trees. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I was going to say also you should introduce allowance. it's very, very important to give your children allowance. Like, way important to give your children allowance. From that allowance, they will be taught how to save. From that allowance, they know when to invest. I think even if you say, okay, and your allowance should be a form of motivation. If you say, okay, you are supposed to do this chore and this chore and this chore, this is what you are supposed to do to have this allowance. I remember Michaela saying that that for her to start her lemonade stand, she had to like work for her parents, and then her parents paid her, then she could afford to put up the stand and start up.
And I also saw a child that they said they wanted to go to a cinema and they needed a particular amount of money to go to the cinema. So the parents said, we can't afford that. And they now had a meeting amongst themselves. So they were able to come up with something. They went to sell, I don't know, I can't remember what they sold actually, but they sold something in school to raise up a particular amount, which they gave to their parents, and the parents now made up like to the proper amount they needed for the cinema. So with that, the children would know that you need to like
you need to work, and for that reason you have to like raise this level of accountability in your child. There has to be some level of accountability in each child. There has to become level. You need to teach them accounting. They need to know accounting, because sometimes you see children, somebody comes to the house, gives them money. Even when they don't give their parent, they'll tell you, you say, give me that money they gave you, and they say, I don't know where I kept it. That's wrong. That's very, very wrong. It is very wrong. It's good you teach them how to value money. They need to know how to value money. They need to know that money is very, very important. So that's the reason why we are organizing this entrepreneurship day program for our school children, for them to teach them. We've been teaching them about, because in our books we teach them about profit and loss. We teach them about percentage, we teach them commission and everything. But they don't know the application, so they just know it on the books. And it ends on the books. But when they now grow up, they now become like this girl. They said they gave $250,000, and then in 2 years they cannot see the money again. So that's very, very bad. We need to know and teach our children about financial literacy. It is very, very, important. Because they need to know when if you play Monopoly, at some point when you have money in Monopoly, you are asked to invest. You are supposed to invest, like you are required to invest. Now children should know when to invest, what to invest in, because let me tell you something, a child that has financial literacy, MMM cannot take the person's money.
You're right.
Ponzi scheme cannot take the person's money.
Their own Ponzi schemes.
They create their own Ponzi.
Children like that.
Children like that. They will be the one to create their own Ponzi scheme, because they cannot like, you cannot cheat them. Exactly. And they'll keep growing. So that's the thing. Exactly. So that's the thing. That's why we need to like sit down. And now is the time, sit down in this 21st century and teach our children. Because this Gen Z that I'm seeing, there's problem. I don't know if you're seeing it, Mrs. Former, Mrs. Nancy, and Mrs. Edna. There's serious problem, because if they come to work, they'll say, my mental health is not giving. My mental health is not, Mrs. Chika, you are affecting my mental health. Therefore, I'm at home because my mental health is not given. And so I cannot come to work today because my mental health is disturbing me. Exactly. So that is the reason why you need to now teach them entrepreneurship skills, because one thing I noticed about this Gen Z and this generation, not just that, I also noticed that they have these thinking skills. They think fast. They think they are very, very meticulous. Very, very meticulous. And they think fast. I think it has to do with computer, because I think they came in that age. So they are thinking very, very fast. They think very, very highly, and they think very, very fast. So we have to make use of that skill, since they fell into that bracket, not to now bring them into another realm where their mental health will now be disturbing them again, or their mental health to be affected. So dear parents, we urge you, please groom your children to be quite financially literate, because it is very, very important. So we forgot to introduce ourselves. So we'll start from Mrs. Nancy. Mrs. Nancy is Mrs. Nancy is our able HR. Mrs. Nancy, introduce yourself, Mrs. Nancy.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Nancy Ogochukwu Okwa. Okay.
We don't just want to know your. We don't want to know your government name. We want to know your like.
Maiden name.
No, we want to know like your like all those people. I don't know what AKA what.
Nancy Five.
That's very true. Me, I can't even remember.
AKA what?
AKA Nancy Five.
Good.
Yeah.
AKA one Onisha girl. I know what do you and Mike used to call it. AKA
One name, not one.
So now we come to a girl that slightly crossed Gen Z. I mean, she's inside the Gen Z. She's Gen Z.
No. No, it's not true.
She's Gen Z.
No, I'm not.
Gen Z.
No,
Okay.
I don't have issues with mental health.
But you fall in the bracket of Gen Z.
My stress
You
very
fall in the
well.
bracket of Gen Z. So introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Ifoma Ogazi.
Good.
Yeah.
You know that Osadobe song that they sang, Ogazi Amaka.
I'm so beautiful.
So AKA what?
Miss Nancy, you finished me. AKA Ogazi. I don't have AKA.
Okay, so we'll be giving Edna of the Most High. Edna is the main Gen Z. She entered, she's like the Gen Z.
Yes.
That her mental health, because sometimes her mental health does not give. Her mental health is okay. So Edna, introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Igwe Edna,
Okay.
and yeah, exactly.
AKA?
AKA.
She don't have AKA like me. I was
Okay.
AKA Novia. I'm the owner of Novia Fashions.
Okay.
So,
She makes her dresses. CEO.
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 Before you know it, all these Gen Zs, they'll just become CEO. All of
Everybody's CEO. Okay. Okay, so
we aim on.
Please, before we finish this video, can you give me AKA?
no, don't worry, we'll discuss that in private. So Miss Edna, keep introducing yourself.
Okay, so dear parents, on our little podcast today,
Okay.
we want you to please make your family functional, very
Good.
functional.
Make time.
Yeah.
Make time out for your children. It's very important. Okay, so my humble self, my name is Chika.
She's
Chika Agu.
She just said what she should have said.
My name is Chika Agu. Yeah, that's all you should know about me. My name is Chika Agu. I don't have any AKA. I don't have any AKA.
Sorry, she's always making this mistake of
Of what?
not introducing herself properly.
So I help you introduce
Our
myself.
director, she's our director, she's the head of school, a dedicated, like she is everything you can think of in an entrepreneur.
Thank you, parents,
Yes.
for
And she's the
listening.
hottest mother
And
of
she's the
four.
what are we not saying? Hottest mother of four. Like she is Mrs. Chika, the proprietress of White Cloud
Thank you
School.
very much.
Wherever you see White Cloud
See
Schools,
you
please
next
give it a
time.
thumbs up.
Bye.
She's in a nice